Have you ever replayed the same conversation in your head, wondering if you said something wrong, or spent hours thinking about a decision, only to end up even more confused? Maybe your mind won't stop imagining the worst-case scenario. You tell yourself to just stop thinking, but somehow the thoughts keep coming back. If that feels familiar, here's something most people don't realize. You're probably not overthinking because you're weak or broken. Your brain is actually trying to protect you, but in the process, it may be creating the very stress you're trying to escape. In this video, you'll discover why you overthink everything, and more importantly, how to finally break the cycle. The frustrating part about overthinking is that it doesn't feel like a problem. It feels like you're trying to find the right answer. So you keep replaying the past, analyzing every detail, convincing yourself that if you think just a little longer, you'll finally feel certain. But instead of finding peace, your mind becomes even louder. The truth is, overthinking rarely solves the problem. More often, it keeps you trapped in a cycle of doubt, stress, and endless what-ifs. The good news is that once you understand why your brain does this, you can begin to break the cycle. Let's start with the first reason. Reason number 1. Your brain mistakes thinking for solving. One of the biggest reasons we overthink is because our brain believes that thinking more will solve the problem. So instead of making a decision, it keeps searching for the perfect answer, even when there isn't one. Think about the last time you sent a message, and then spent the next hour wondering if you said the wrong thing. The more you thought about it, the more anxious you became, even though nothing had actually changed. The lesson is simple. Not every problem needs more thinking. Sometimes peace comes from accepting that you've already thought enough. Reason number 2. You fear making the wrong decision. Another reason we overthink is because we're afraid of making the wrong choice. Our brain convinces us that if we just think a little longer, we'll eventually find the perfect decision. But in reality, the search for certainty often keeps us from moving forward at all. Maybe you've spent days choosing between two opportunities, only to end up feeling even more confused than when you started. The lesson is this: progress doesn't come from making perfect decisions. It comes from making thoughtful decisions and having the courage to move forward. Reason number 3. Your mind replays the past to protect you from future pain. Your mind often replays painful memories because it believes they're lessons you should never forget. It keeps asking, what could I have done differently? Hoping that if it analyzes the past enough, it can stop you from getting hurt again. Think about a mistake or an embarrassing moment you still replay years later. The event is over, but your mind keeps bringing it back, as if it's trying to prepare you for the future. The lesson is this: learn from the past, but don't live in it. Growth comes from moving forward, not replaying yesterday. Reason number 4. You try to control things that are impossible to control. One of the deepest causes of overthinking is trying to control things that were never in your control. You replay conversations, imagine every possible outcome, and worry about what other people might think, hoping it will somehow change the future. Think about how many nights you've lost sleep over something that eventually worked out, or something you couldn't change anyway. The lesson is simple. Peace doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from letting go of what you can't control and focusing on what you can. If you see yourself in these habits, don't be discouraged. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It simply means your mind has learned a pattern that no longer serves you. The good news is that overthinking isn't a personality trait. It's a mental habit, and like any habit, it can be changed with awareness and practice. So the next time you catch yourself trapped in endless what-ifs, pause and ask yourself, am I solving the problem or just feeding it? Because sometimes the greatest peace doesn't come from finding every answer. It comes from knowing when to let go. If you'd like to explore these ideas in more depth, I've linked a few of my favorite psychology and personal growth books in the description. Feel free to check them out if you're interested. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.